So today's session is designed for professionals. So whether you are looking to refine your current workflow or you are looking to improve data accuracy, I would like to say that you're in the right place. And then before we dive in, let me just do the honors of introducing our guest today. So he's no other than, maybe just hold on a minute while I share my screen. Um, okay. Please confirm if you can see my screen.
Not yet, Victor.
Oh, okay. Sorry, just a minute. Okay. All right.
So yes, you can see your screen now.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you. So, if you can see my screen, so this is our facilitator for today. His name is Mr. Aladitun Oluwamuyiwa, and he's driven by a deep passion for uncovering insights from data. Mr. Muyiwa embarked on a career as a data analyst with over 6 years of experience in the field. He leads the Nigerian Breweries Tracking Center, overseeing the work of fellow data analysts. Has also led him to teach his practical skills, training 100 individuals locally and internationally over the past 2 years. So we are very much in a comfortable position to sit with what Camanda is trying to do with the right facilitator. You've seen having any presentation to contribute at the point that facilitator get called in, then you can as well contribute. Yeah, so now let's just get started. Over to you, Mr. Muiwa.
Thank you very much, Victor. Thank you for the honor. So it is an opportunity to be here once again to teach us on how to make use of Excel to handle data. Please hope you can hear me. Please can you confirm that I can hear me clearly?
Yes,
Thank
you're
you
very clear
very
and
much. So it is an honor once again to have us here. So today we'll be looking at the second. Let me share my screen, please. Can you confirm that I can see my screen also?
Yes, your screen is up.
So thank you very much. So today we'll be looking at data handling in Excel. That's the reason why we have gathered today. Want to see how we can work around data in Excel. So I would like to ask, is there any of us that have not used Excel before now? Or I know this class is for today's class for professionals. So definitely you are working class students. And what I mean by students is data students, not those that stay in formal school. So now, is there any of us, maybe by raising of hand, is there any of us that have not made use of data in Excel before now? Can you signify by raise of hand? Do you have any in the house today? All right. I think we have 2 ends, 3 ends up. Okay. So to help me know how I can simplify I will help me how I can simplify our class for today. All right. Thank you very much. Can put down the ends. So now, as I said earlier, we are looking at data handling in Excel. Basically, when we get to see data in Excel, the data are not just there for decoration's sake. The end goal of every data that we have access to is for state decision makers to be able to make decisions with them. That's the end product. Now, when we get to see data, how are we able to harness this data to the point that decision makers can make adequate decision, profitable decision from the data that have been provided to us? So in today's class, once again, we'll be looking at one or two ways in which data can be added in order to get to the point where data becomes meaningful, where data becomes suitable for decision making. We work in organizations today where financial decision and operational decision are based on the data that we provide, based on the data that we have access to. For example, I work where once there is a little mistake, it's the data from my team is going to have a lot of financial implication on whoever is going to make decision with it. So you have to be careful with handling of data. You have to ensure that our data is accurate enough in order for decision makers to be able to make proper decisions from this data. So without wasting our time, what is now then data handling? So data handling as well refers to various methods, various techniques in which we can use in managing, in which we can use in organizing or manipulating, in which we can use in analyzing our data within the Excel workspace. How do you manipulate your data? How do you organize your data? How do you transform your data? How do you analyze your data within the Excel workspace? That's all data handling is all about. That's all data handling is about. So let's forget the grammar that is there. I want to prepare rice. What are the process that I need to prepare this rice? I will wash the rice, prepare my gas cooker, place it on the gas cooker, put salt and the rest. Now there are various ways. Now it is possible that the way Mr. A will handle his data will be different from the way Mr. B will handle his data. It will be different from the way Mrs. C will handle her data. And we still all will be able to get to the same conclusion. You all will still be able to arrive at similar insights that can be used for decision making. So don't be bothered about how A works around his data or how B works around her data. No. As far as you are able to arrive at a point where the data is okay enough to make decisions, then we are good to go. So there are various ways. That is why also when we teach also, we also try to show various methods. So you can decide to use whichever is simpler or whichever is faster for you to use in order to arrive at your own conclusion. So once again, data handling refers to ways in which you organize, manipulate, analyze your data within the Excel workspace. So please, as we go ahead, at any given point in time you have any question, you can feel free to stop me and let's treat the question together. So if at any given point in time, if you are working with you, if you have your laptop with you or you have your PC with you and you want to be practicalizing as we go ahead with the class, just be feel free to do so. And when we come across any issue, just point our attention, we deal with the question and we move further. All right. So the focus for today is sorting, filtering, and data validation. Those are the three focus for our class today: data sorting, data filtering, data validation. But if time permits, because we don't want to go beyond 12:30 or thereabout, so if time permits, we look at some other ways, like how we can clean up our data, formatting data, formula function, conditional formatting. I'll look at data analysis, which is all about generating insights from your data. So our let's start with our focal point for today's class. So the first one we'll be looking at is data sorting. That's the first we'll be looking at, data sorting. So when we talk about data sorting, basically we are talking about how to arrange our data. We are talking about how we can arrange our data. So based on the column we are sorting by, we can decide to arrange in ascending, can decide to arrange in highest to lowest, we can decide to arrange in um, oldest to earliest, depending on the type of column, on the data type of the column you are working with. So this is our sample file for today, and I'm sure by the end of this class also it will be made available for us to practice with. Please confirm that my screen is visible enough for you. All right, thank you very much. Let me make it bigger a bit too. All right, thank you for the thumbs up. All right, thank you very much. So, we said data sorting deals with, it's just about arranging of our data, arranging of a data. Now, at times, I've worked with a manager before where once you are providing your data must be well arranged, sorted. Maybe you are sorting a name. For example, you are working with list of names. The names have to be sorted A to Z. Or you are working with figures, the figures have to be sorted highest to lowest, or lowest to highest. So sorting makes your data well arranged enough, and once anybody that sees your data from the first glance is able to see that, wow, this data is well arranged. So now, how do we arrange our data? How do we arrange our data? So first, let's see how we can use a column. Let's see how we can first use a column to do this arrangement. So for example, this data has to do with some customers in a particular bank. I see the customer name, the branch, the type of account the person is running, the account balance, the year of opening, the last date of transaction, the account manager of this person, the customer rating, and the risk level of that account. So now this data, I can decide to say, I want to sort this data based on customer's name, and I want to sort it in ascending order. How do I do it? So I can do this. To sort your data from your own tab, look down to your right, you see editing group. You will see editing group. Now on the editing group, you have, depending on the size of your screen, it's possible you see the names there. So you look for where you have sort and filter. Or another way is you come to your data tab. That's another way. You come to your data tab. So look down to your sort and filter group. It's towards the middle of your screen. Your sort and filter group. can see sort on the left side, then you have filter on the other side. So now I want to sort this. I want to sort based on the customer name column in ascending order. So I've selected the first data on the customer's name column, and I can click A to Z. Did we just what happened? Let me undo. So what I did again is I ensured that my active cell is the first data under the column I want to sort by. Once you have selected that column you want to sort by, go to your sort and filter group under data tab or under your own button editing group, whichever you feel like using. Then you click on A to Z. You can see it sorted the name in ascending order. I can see I now have all A's up, then followed by B, C, and the rest. Please, have I performed any magic? Is there anyone with question before I move further? So you have seen the simplest form of sorting using just a column. Is there anyone with question, please? So if you are good, okay. So, all right. So let's go on with the second one. Thank you, Mr. B. So in case there are questions here, we treat before moving further. So now we have seen how to sort using a single column. Now let's see how we can sort using two or more columns at the same time. Now currently also we are sorting based on the value of our cells. For example, what do we have here? We have names here, our day, and the rest. We are sorting based on the value of our cells. So after I've sorted using values, I'm also going to show you how we can sort based on the cell color of our columns. So now, let's see, we have seen how to sort using a single column. Let's see how we can sort using, let's see how we can sort using two or more columns. Please, can you hear me clearly? Am I audible enough? Is the network breaking? All right, good. So I just want to confirm that the network is not breaking. All right. So to sort using two or more columns, we have to use our custom filter. So this symbol where you have your Z and A and Z here is your custom sort, I think filter. Click on it. So once you click on it, it has opened the sorting dialog box for us. So the sort dialog box has been opened onto us. So here you can see which column you want to sort by. So now let's say I want to sort customers name and branch column. Let us use those two columns as our base columns for sorting. So first, I'm going to select my customer's name. Now remember I told us that we are sorting based on our cell value. So you can see you can also sort based on cell color, based on fourth color, and so on and the rest. So we are sorting based on cell value, which is the most common way of sorting. So now, how do you want it to be arranged? Do you want it to be sorted in ascending order? Do you want it to be sorted in descending order? You have the choice of selecting from here. So let's leave it on A to Z. So now I can now add another level. I can also add another level by clicking on add level, or I can copy this level and change the criteria. So the next, let me sort, let me add branch to it. I still want to sort based on cell value A to Z. So you can see I've selected two different columns as a basis of sorting our data. So you can select as many as possible using the custom sort. Let me add one more. Let's add product type, cell value A to Z. So now please let's take note of this, our data, and let's see what will be our results once I click on OK. So can we see Abibo? Hello? Hello? So since the name is our first step, can see it took the name first. Then after the name, it went ahead to branch. Then moves ahead to product type. So whichever you want as first, you select it. Can decide to say it is product, it is branch you want to sort by. Can see. So you can either select a column or you can select two or more columns. So to select two or more columns, you make use of your custom sort. A to Z, and do again copy, customer's name, branch, A to Z. Okay. All right. Is there any question for me? Is there any question for me? Do you have questions? 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 Is that a question?
Yes, it's a question.
Okay, please go ahead.
The question is, for example, now you have a worksheet already, and you have the
Okay.
names and the branch and everything maybe arranged in your column and your rows. And now you want to now sort maybe you want to sort the columns like you just showed us now. Won't it affect those names, like the data you collected, those names you already had, that place you are sorting, won't it affect those names that you already have for the data?
So to understand your question, for example,
Yes.
now can see Adebola Okonkwo,
Yes.
can see the branch is Port Harcourt,
Yes.
product type saving is our balance is this, account open date is this. So now by the time you are sorting, it has to carry all the other columns along with it. If not, your sorting is wrong. If it's not carry out, if it's not carrying other columns along with it, then the sorting is wrong. So now let me redo. Let's go and look for that's Adebola Okonkwo. Let's go and look for control Adebola. Please, you can unmute your mic. You can mute your mic rather. So you can see Adebola carried other columns. Can you see? So if can you hear me? If the date, if it's corresponding data in other columns are not going along with it, then there's an issue with the sorting. So you have to check what you have sorted. Now, one of the things that can cause issue in sorting is this, and there is an empty column within your data. It's going to cause an issue when you want to sort. So now let's see now. Let me sort now. We see that it will not take, can see, I'm sorting, but these other aspects are not going along as I'm sorting. Why? Because there's an empty space. There's an empty column within my data. So whenever I want to sort, ensure there is no empty column inside your data whenever I want to sort. Once there's an empty column, then it's going to make your sorting wrong. Your sorting will not be well arranged. Have I answered your question, Amarachi?
Yes, you have.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Any other question, please? All right. So now we have seen how to sort using the value of ourselves. So now there are times there are some formatting within your data. For example, I decided to, let's say, for example, we have decided to color some cells. So let me say maybe these two customers, they are very good customer. Let's also say, okay, let's make them this for customer. Then let's add some other colors. So now I've highlighted some names. Green, what color is this? Is this amber? No. Okay, that should be orange. Then red. I've highlighted some names. Now, I want to sort based on my cell color. How do we do that? You can do this. You can just, let's apply a filter button, the easiest way. Let's use the easiest way here. Let's apply a filter button. Come back to your data tab. Let's apply a filter button. So once you apply your filter button, then click on this drop down. You are still able to sort your data. You can see sort A to Z, sort Z to A. Then you can see sort by color. This is a way you can do. This is a way you can do that. Sort by color. So you can decide to say you want to sort by green. But let's go and use our custom filter, so that all those cells we have colored will come together. Let's use our sort filter. You can see. So we have colored some names in our customer's name. So now this time around we are going to say sort based on cell color. You can see. So how do you want to arrange it? So which color should come first? Click on it. Then let's create another level or copy another level. Still customer name. Then which color do you want to come next? Select the color you want to come next. Then copy another level. Then let's make use of the last color here, red. Okay. Can we see now? All those colored cells came up first based on how we have defined our sorting to look like.
Hello, Muyiwa. Someone's
Yes.
hands is up.
Okay.
Mr. Friday.
Yeah,
Mr. Friday.
So I think that has been up since we started the class. Maybe it's an error. On Friday, can you go ahead, please, if you have a question?
Okay. Maybe he's not even in the call.
The hand has been up since we started.
Okay.
Thank you very much for the notification. All right. So now you can see. So in case you want to bring some colors together, that is how you can do that. You just let me go through it once again. Go into your advanced sorting or custom sorting. Which column do we have the formatting customer's name? Because that's where we want to sort by. Then what is the basis of sorting? Our cell color. So since we have more than a color, you have to arrange the colors. So let's say we want red to come up first now. Then copy the level or add the level, whichever you feel like using. Then let's make use of the second. Copy, let's make use of the third. Okay, so you can see. Any question? Has any magic just been performed? Do you have question for me? Have you just performed any magic? So if we are good, let us have thumbs up. Let's have thumbs up to be sure that we are good and we are following. All right, thank you. Esther, okay, she just joined. All right, thank you very much for the thumbs up. So let me undo. So that's that for our sorting. So basically, your sorting is just the same way to the other ones. You can also sort, I said if you are sorting, if you want to sort your date, then that is where you now have from oldest to newest, because here you are talking about dates. You sort oldest to newest or newest to oldest, whichever you want. Where you have number, you sort smallest to largest. You sort smallest to largest or largest to smallest. But where you have text, you either sort in ascending order or you sort in descending order. All right. In the absence of question, let's see data filtering. So let's see data filtering. Now, what's data filtering? We have a data set and we are just interested in seeing a particular aspect of this data that meets a particular criteria. Data filtering is displaying the rows that meet a certain criteria. So now it does not mean that other rows have been deleted. No. What it just meant that other rows have been temporarily made invisible. So we want to make visible only rows that means a particular condition, because we want to make that as our focal point, focus point for a party for just some amount of time where you want to do some quick analysis, because with data filtering you can easily come up with some quick analysis. So now let's see that. So now let's say, for example, I want to see all the customers in Ogun branch. I want to see all the customers in Ogun branch. How do you apply your filter? And whenever you want to apply your filter, just come to your header. You can select any of your headers. You just select any of your headers. Make sure your cursor is on any of the headers. Then your editing group from your home tab or your data tab, then come to sort and filter. Then click on filter. So you can see the drop down has been applied. So now I want to see all our customers in Ogun. Click on the drop down. So once you click on the drop down, you can see you have the list of your branches or the values in that particular column. Let me put it that way. The value is in that particular column. Ibadan, Kaduna, Lagos, Ogun, and Port Harcourt. Which branch do I want to see? I want to see Ogun. So I can just deselect all, then click on Ogun. Okay. Can see I have all my list of customers in Ogun. Now, this does not mean that Kaduna, Port Harcourt, Lagos have been deleted. No. What it just meant that temporarily other rows have been made invisible. We have only made visible only rows that meet with the criteria of Ogun branch, that meet with the criteria of us selecting just Ogun branch. That's the meaning. So with this, I can quickly do a quick analysis. For example, now, let's say I want to see the account balance of all the customers in Ogun. Once I highlight column D, where I have the account balance. Once you highlight column D where you have the account balance, come to your status bar. Can you see where my cursor is? Come to your status bar. You have seen a quick analysis we have there. Can see we have the average account balance is 27,550 naira 50 kobo. Then the total account balance is 798 naira 960 798,964 naira 62 kobo. You can see that. Then from here, you can see the numbers of rows that are active, which is
Please, can you take that again?
okay, the analysis, right?
Yes.
Okay, how I got to the analysis. So now, for example, I want to see the account balance of all our customers in Ogun. Want to see the account balance of all our customers in Ogun. So now, I've highlighted the column. So I'm highlighting the column where we have account balance. So to highlight the whole column, just place your cursor on the column label. Can see when my cursor is within my workspace, it looks like a cross. But when it is on my column label, it looks like an arrow facing downward. So you can see it. So once it changes to this arrow facing downward, just click that column label. So now look at where my cursor is. This is where we call status bar. That is our status bar. So you can see from here now, 29 of 166 record. That means the total rows we have on this file is 166, excluding the header, please. With the header is 167, excluding the header is 166. So by the time I filtered Ogun, look at it is now showing me that I have 29 records of 166, which means, so this already means that we have 29 customers in Ogun branch. Then to our account balance, I think a hand is up, right? But let me quickly answer this question before I come to you. So to our account balance, you have your sum, you have your average, you have your sum. So I don't know the person that asked me to recap. Have I been able to answer you? Please let me know if I have been able to answer you.
Yes, thank you.
Hello.
Yes, thank you. I can hear you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. I think a hand was also up, but unfortunately I do not see the name. Please, if you are the person, can you unmute and let's ask your question? All right. So that
Sorry,
is that for.
I have a question, please.
Okay, Amarachi, yeah, I can go ahead, please.
Show me again that place you filtered. Just that filter place. I missed something. When you filtered
Okay.
Ogun. That's what I missed, but I got the best part,
Okay.
but just that filter part. I didn't get it.
Okay, you got the explanation, but how I filtered Ogun is what you did not get. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now, once you have your data and you want to filter, the first thing you are meant to do is you go to your header. You go to because all data must have headers. So you go to the header, select one of the headings. select one of the column headers. Each columns have its own header. So select any of the headers from any of the column. So once you do that, go to your data tab, your sort and filter group, then click on filter. That's it. So once you click on filter, this drop down sign comes on your data. So once you have this drop down sign, then you can start filtering. So how did you now filter Ogun? I click on the drop down on branch. You can see. So here now we have all the values under our branch. Ogun, Ibadan, Lagos, Port Harcourt. They are what we have under our branch. So I deselected all and now click on Ogun. Okay. Actually, have I answered your question? All right.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. So now if you don't want to go through that way, this is another way. Once you click on the drop down, here in this search box, you can also type your criteria, Ogun. You can see. So you can see now Ogun is up, then you can press enter. That is another way you can do that. Then also, you can also filter multiple columns. For example, let's say I want to see customers from Ogun that have personal loan accounts. Customers from Ogun that have personal loan accounts. So which means that I want to filter based on branch and product type. I want to see customers from Ogun that have product loan accounts. So it means that I want to filter based on branch and customer type and product type. So I can say, come here, Ogun. Then come to product type, click on personal account. So you can see. So we have applied two-step filter. The first filtered by branch, then we went ahead to filter product type. We filter branch, then we filter product type. Also, you can also filter more than one criteria. For example, I've been filtering Ogun. I can say I want to filter, you can select multiple also. You can select multiple also if you wish to. You can select multiple criteria also. You can see now, we have Ogun, Kaduna, and Lagos. You can also select multiple criteria. Now, with my practical experience, I have seen some things. Now, there are times that your data is filtered, but you don't know that your data is actually filtered. So now I would like to show us, how do you easily know that your data is filtered? See, so in these cases I'm talking about, this drop down here is missing. It is not that the data is hidden, no. It is actually filtered, but this drop down is missing. It is what I have seen times without number. So now the easiest way to know that your data, okay, basically when the data is filtered, other columns are hidden. So now, how do you easily know that your data is filtered? Now look at my row labels. Can you see my row label? After one, I have two. After two, I'm seeing 4. Fine. You can see that some rows are missing. Can we see it, please? If you are seeing what I'm talking about, let me have thumbs up, please. All right. So now, once you see this, so at times I've come across where people will be telling me, I can't see my data, I can't see my data. So once I get to the system, what I first do is I try to examine the row label to see if any of the FM of the row label is hidden. So once you have seen that, and this what is it called? This drop down is not on your header, because in these cases that I'm talking about, not once, not twice, these headers are not there. So once you see that, how do you now open it up? So basically, how do we now unhide them? You can just select the old data. You can select the old data. So how do you select the old data? Easily select the old data. On your row 1, before your column A, there is a rectangle here. Click on it. Once you click on it, all your data will be selected. So once that is done, take your cursor to any of the lines dividing two rows. Take your cursor to any of the lines dividing two rows. Now you can see how my cursor is inside my workspace. When it is on the lines dividing a column or your rows, you can see this is how it will look like. So once you get there, just double click. It's going to open up everything for us. You can see it has opened up everything for us. It has opened up everything for us. So this way we will unhide those rows that have been hidden unknowingly to us. Does anyone have question for me before we go? So are we this? Let me have thumbs up if you are good to go ahead. All right. So still on data filtering. Let's come to dates. Now you can decide to filter dates. Say you want to filter today's date. Maybe you have today's date on that your file. You want to see only those that meet today's date as criteria. You want to filter based on yesterday. You want to filter based on this month. You want to filter based on last month. Let me choose this month, for example. You can see we have only 2 persons that action dates as my basis of filtering here. So I want to see those that have transacted with our bank this month. So click on the drop down, date filter this month. You can see we only have 2 persons that have transacted with us this month. Let's see how many people transacted with us last year. As at that last transacted with us rather than last year. So where is last year? Let's see last year. You can see. Look at, we have 52 persons that last transacted with us last year. So aside from filtering, using it as a basis of seeing rows that meet a particular criteria, if you want to do quick analysis, you can also do that using data filtering. Data filtering is also available for us to do quick analysis. Data filtering is also available for us to do quick analysis. All right. So now before I drop the mic on data filtering, let's see how we can do advanced filtering. Let's see how we can do advanced filtering. Before I drop the mic on data filtering, let's see advanced filtering. So now to make use of this advanced filtering, we have to bring out our criteria. So please pardon me to reduce the size of my screen. All right. I want to use this. So now, let's say for example, does someone have a question for me? All right. So now let's say for example, I want to see
It's not WhatsApp.
Please, can we unmute our mic, please? Can we mute our mic rather? So now let's say, for example, I want to see customers with product type. Now I said to use the advanced feature, we have to bring out our criteria. Let's say, for example, I want to see customers with product type savings. That their account balance is greater than 5,000. That's an account balance greater than 5,000. Now, so this we can also do this way, and savings, then come to account balance, click on the drop down, do number filtering, then select greater than 5,000. Can see what I've just done. Let me repeat that step. What I want to use this advanced filtering to do here, I want to use the normal filtering to do it. So now I want to see customers with savings that their account balance is greater than 5,000. Let me increase it. Let me say greater than 20,000. So let me do product type, savings, account balance. Come to the drop down account balance. A second, please. I saw a message. Let me see if that message is for me. So, okay, the recordings will be made available after the class, so be rest assured. The recording will be sent to every participant of this class. All right. So I said savings, that the account balance is greater than 20,000. So I'll come to account balance, the drop down, then I'll come to number filters. Can see these are various criteria you can also use in filtering. I'll go to greater than, I'll type 20,000. Okay, so you can see these are the customers that run savings accounts and their account balance is greater than 20,000. So let's use advanced filtering to also return these same results. So how do you do that? So you go to your data tab again. Under your sort and filter group, you click on advanced. So immediately you click on advanced, you can see what it did. It automatically highlighted where my data is. It's automatically highlighted, but in case yours did not do that, you can manually do that, but automatically where the data is. So now, after it has highlighted where the data is, the next criteria is to highlight. No, we copied out our criteria. These are criteria that I copied out here. You can see it. So let's go back. So after your data range has been highlighted, the next thing is to highlight our criteria. So go to where your criteria is, highlight it. You can see I've highlighted it. Then once you do that, click on unique record. Then okay. Can we see? This is the same thing we did with the normal filtering. So with the advanced filtering also, you can have your criteria, multiple criteria as you wish. You can have it out somewhere. Then you use your advanced filter to select to show the records or the data you like to see. Let me undo it. Let me increase my criteria. Let's also say I want to see, okay, let me say I want to see those on savings that are from Ogun, and their what's it called? And their account balance is over. Let me reduce the figure here. So in case we don't have over 20, let me make it 5,000 here. So here now I'm filtering based on three criteria. Branch, I want to see customers savings accounts and the account balance is greater than 5,000. Let's see our results using normal filtering. Ogun. Savings, account balance greater than 5,000. Okay, all of them are over 5,000. So I'm going to increase the criteria. I'm going to increase the figure since all of them are over 5,000. Let me increase it to 15. All right. So let's go again. Advanced feature, advanced. Then your criteria, go and light your criteria. Then select unique record. Then you click on OK. So you can see our results now. Is there any question for me, please? Please come up with your question before we move on to the next, which is data validation. Any question, any question, any question?
Sorry, you said select the criteria. Are you highlighting from the header or
Yes, from the header. You know, I copied out the criteria, the header and the value. So I highlighted from the header. Let me do it again so that I can see it. I highlighted from the header. From the header, you can see I highlighted from the header down to the values. Then okay. Has your question be answered, please?
sorry, I'm a little bit lost, please. Don't help me out. So
Okay. So your
just
question is, did I
slow.
highlight from the header, right?
Yes, yes.
Let me clear the filter again. Now remember that I copied out my criteria, the header and the values, the header and the value, the header and the value. Can you see that?
Yes, I can see that.
All right. So let's go and filter. Now, ensure that one of the cells where your data is selected advanced filtering. So because we have used it before, that's why this criteria is still here. So I've cleared it. So you can see now. So I've gone to where my criteria is. I'm highlighting from my header, which is from K1 to M1, drag down to row 2. Can you see? I highlighted from the header down to the values under the header. Then unique record. Okay. Have I answered your question, please?
Yes, yes.
Thank you very much. Any other question?
All right. Thank you very much, sir. I just want to confirm something quickly. I observed that when you selected the advance, and I saw that the list is that I think the list criteria was already filled. The space for that was already filled. So
Yeah,
is that the whole data that we are working on that was automatically filled when you
yes,
click?
yes. It was all the data. It
Okay,
was all
okay.
the data I'm working with. So that was why I also said do this. Just ensure that one of the cells within your data is selected. Ensure that one of the cells within your data is selected. So that's it. The Excel will help you highlight your data range. Then remember, I also said that just in case, automatically it will pick all your data range. But just in case all your data range is not selected, you can actually do it yourself. You can actually DIY, do it yourself. That's it. You can also do it yourself, just in case. But that is in a rare case. Any other question is before we move further? So if you are good to go, let me have thumbs up, please. If you are good to go, thumbs up, thumbs up. All right, all right, all right. Thank you. Data validation. Confirm that you can see my screen, please. Data validation. So now with data validation, what it means is that I want to reduce the level of error on my file to the best minimum. Even if possible, I don't want to see any error. Now, data validation helps you set rules at the point of data entry. It helps you set rules at the point of data entry. So for example, if you have, even if you can set it yourself, because nobody is above mistake. For example, you may be typing now. I want to type mail. Now, this is the correct spelling for me. But I mistakenly type this. And I think I have typed mail. You can see this is not the same. Now, for the purpose of analysis, by the time I want to analyze, this second one here is going to cause me an issue. Because I want to analyze mail and I am having this. So now, data validation, what it does is it helps us set rules for the purpose of data entry. Remember that our data must be accurate for us to be able to make proper decision, informed decision from data. If the data is not correct, then there's going to be an issue with whatsoever decisions that will be made from such data, which is why as data user, as data experts, we have to ensure the accuracy of our data. So data validation sets rules for what type of data can be entered in a specific cell to ensure data accuracy and consistency. So now, let's see this. How do we now make use of data validation? Now, to make use of your data validation, you come to your data to apply your data validation to a file. You come to your data tab. Under your data tools group, like I said earlier, based on the size of your screen, it's possible you'd have seen data validation from a data tools group. But if you can't, look for the icon where you have data validation. Look for the icon where you have data validation. A second, please. So for those asking for the video will be made available, the recorded session will be made available to everybody. So be rest assured you will get it. If not today, you'll get it after this class. Be rest assured. All right, so you click on data validation. So you can see you have your settings, input message, error. You are going to see how you can make use of these 3 tabs. So under your settings, you have different types of validation that can be applied. You have whole number, decimal, list, date, time, text length, custom. So quickly, let's see how we can make use of dates. You see how we can make use of dates. You can see how we can make use of whole number, text length, then list is stop with list. Then we see how we can impute message and error alert. All right. So now whenever you want to apply your data validation, like we said, it is basically for data entry purpose. Now, even you yourself, whenever you are entering data, there may be mistake. Let alone people will entry data for you, that you as a data analyst will now run an analysis on. Mistake can happen. So for you to reduce this error to the barest minimum or no error at all, that is why you need to use to run a data validation on their file to ensure data validation is set on their file so that you can reduce the error to the barest minimum. So now, let's take for example, this is a whole number data type. So now we want to enter whole numbers into this column. What do? You have to highlight the cells where you want to apply. You have to highlight the cells where you want to apply your validation. Once you do that, go to your data tab, go to your data validation, and click. So under settings, come to your, so the same way you set whole number is the same way you set decimal points. So that's why I will not waste time on you looking at the two. Just let's make use of one. So now let's use whole number. So now let's say I want to enter numbers between, one. So one should be the least number to be entered into these cells. Then let's say 50 should be the highest number. Then once you have set the rule, you click on OK. So now let's see. I've entered one. It accepted it. Okay. Let's say 1.2. Let's see if it accepts it. Can you see? It has thrown up an error message. Because the validation that I activated here is for whole number, and I'm trying to enter decimal number. That's it. So that's on. So now I said we should enter between 1 to 50. Let's see if we accept anything less than 1. Can you see? 50. Okay. Let's see if we accept anything higher than 50. Can you see? So once you are trying to enter anything that is outside the rules that you have set, then the error will be thrown up to us. So that's for whole number. And so the same way you set for whole number, the same way you set for decimal number. Let's set for text length. So let's set for text length. So let's do the same. Text length. Now let's say you want, so let's say the minimum length of your text should be 1. Then the maximum length of your text, let's say, should be 4. Okay. So Muyi is 4. Okay. Camanda is more than 4. Enter. Can you see? So Camanda is the numbers of character is more than the maximum number I said it should accept as our text length. So you can see it is throwing up an error. So this is how you set rules in order to ensure that your data entry officer's error are reduced to the barest minimum. Let's also see for dates. Now, for me, in my workplace, for example, my team members work with dates a lot. So one of the things I did this year is to apply this rule for them. In the previous years, whenever their files come back to me, I always have a lot of errors with their dates. Now, for example, you want to enter dates. This is the proper date format, for example. Let's say including time. 2025. Then because you want to add time, there should be a space. Let's say 12:05. This is the proper date and time. How you should enter a proper date and time. Now, this is not the same thing as this. It is not the same thing as this. Can you see? This your date and time. This is not date and time. You will think you have entered date and time, and it may be because you have so many data you are working with. You just entered it, you have left it. You don't even go back to cross check if what entered is correct. So definitely this is going to cause an error when you want to analyze. So one of the things I did that which has helped me so far whenever I'm working with their file is the error has been reduced to the barest minimum. Before, maybe when I'm using 10 minutes to correct this error, in most cases the error is no longer there. That's because if the time file is not tampered with, the error will no longer be there. So now, how do we apply dates and time data validation? Date and time. So validation dates. So also, in case you are working with 2025 date, you want their dates entry should be between 1st of January to 31st of December. So that means anything that is outside from 1st of January 2025 to 31st of December 2025 shouldn't be part of this file. You set it 01/01/2025 to 31st/12/2025. So which means anything before this date will not be accepted. Anything after this date will not be accepted. Okay. So now let's see. Let's test anything before 1st of January. So let's say 12th of October 2024. Can you see? Error. Because you have said not count anything before January. So let's see. 10th of February 2025. Sorry. 10th of February 2025. You can see it has accepted it. Let me include time. Space 909. Now you can see custom. Can see it accepted it. Now let's assume there's an error with my date. Can you see? The format of my time is wrong. Can you see? It's knocking it off. So can you see? So once you are entering the wrong data type or the wrong data into where you are set through, then your error comes up. Is there any question for me before I go on to look at lists? Is there any question for me before we look at how to apply drop down as a form of data validation. Any question for me? Any question? Any question? Any question? Okay. Thumbs up if we are good to go on to the next list. Our time is almost fast spent. I thought we'd be able to go on to the others. All right. So now let's see how to apply drop down as a form of data type. So as a form of data validation, which is popularly known as list. So now I don't know, maybe, okay, for example, let's take form as an example. Most of us have filled one form at one point in time. And when you are filling the form, you see a drop down where, for example, when you get to state of residence, you have a drop down where you can select your state of residence. So now, how can you apply drop down to your Excel file? How can you apply drop down to your Excel file? Okay, let me make use of this our file here now. Let's say, for example, we have at the point of data entry, this data being entered, for example, manually entered. So now let's say at the point of data entry, the person entering this data has been asked to use the drop down to enter this risk level, normal, at risk. How are we going to do that? For example, now, so I'm selecting the color because it is much. So I'm selecting the color. Then data validation. I'll come to lists. So now, here where you have source, this is now where you type the options you want to have as your drop down. So I will now say normal, then comma and space. Comma and space will give you your next option at risk. Comma and space gives you your next option. Okay. So you can see we have now have our drop down normal at risk. So also you can type normal at risk. So basically anything outside these two will not be accepted. You can see anything outside these two will not be accepted. You can see. So it is not compulsory you now use the drop down again, but just make sure you have whatever you are typing is part of what you have set that has been set as rules. So that is using. So now that is in a case where you have somebody is raising his hand. Please unmute and ask your question. If you are raising your hand, you can unmute and ask your question. All right.
Sir, please, can you do that again? Can you take it a step? I'm lost.
Okay. Okay. So let me undo. Okay. So remember the first step to apply your data validation is highlighting the cells where you like to apply the validation. Then go to your data tab and data validation. Then here is select lists. So now here where you have source, you type your options. Where do I live? Lagos, Ogun, Ibadan. You type your options. So now I want to make use of this, my options, normal and at risk. So I'm going to type normal. So after I have typed in the first option, to move ahead to the second option, you enter comma and a space bar. You enter comma and a space bar, then you type your next option at risk. So once you are done, you click on OK. Then your data validation is now available. You can see you have a drop down. So for lists, you have your drop down. So if you don't want to make use of the drop down, you can also type, but the drop down is the fastest way. You can also type normal. Just ensure that what you are typing is part of what part of what is meant to be typed in that column. If you are typing anything outside what is meant to be typed, then it's not going to accept it. It's going to come up with error. So now, this first step is for where you have just one or two options or three options. Now, in a case where you have so many options to work with, for example, you have so many options to work with, like Lagos, you want to have Lagos, you want to have Oyo, you want to have Kaduna, you want to have Imo, you want to have Rivers, you want to have Ebonyi, you want to have so many lists to work with as options. So it's always advisable you type them out in a single column. You type them out in a single column. Let it be hidden somewhere. So come to where you want to apply it. Come to where you want to apply it. The data validation list. Then so now here where we have source, we have so many lists and we have typed them somewhere. So here where you have source, just place your cursor there, then go to where you typed the list you like to bring in here. Then you highlight them. So once you highlight them, you click on OK. So you can see you now have it here. So that is that. So any question before I now show you? Is there any question before I show us how we can now set a message and the warning alerts? That is where we end it for today's class. Any question, please, before I show us how we can set a warning message? Before I show us how we can set a message as a guide for us and
Sir,
how we can
please,
set a warning alert.
please, can you do that list again? That one of several lists.
All right. Okay, hold on. So the first thing is ensure your list is typed somewhere. Once you type it there, hide it also so that nobody, in case it is a file that other people have access to, or you protect the sheet so that nobody else will be able to tamper with it. So ensure you have it typed somewhere. So once you do that, go to where you want to apply your data validation. Go to your data validation, come down and select lists. Then here where you have source, initially we type first option, comma, second option. But this case, we have so many lists we are working with. So here you have typed the list, then you highlight the lists. You highlight the list. Once the list is highlighted, you click on OK. Then you have it applied already. All right, thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Any other question before we move to the final part of today's class? Our time is fast spent already. Okay, in the absence of question now, let's see how we can apply a warning message or a message as a guide rather. Now, you can always apply a message as a guide so that whoever is entering the data, as the first person once the person click into that set to enter the data, the person will see a message that this is the type of data that should be entered. So how do you do that? So let's select this cell, for example, data validation. Now input message. So what type of message can give a guide? Okay, let me say date format only. So what message do you want to have? Ensure your date is in the right format. This is too long. Okay, let me not do that. Let me say e.g. 21/01 2025 8:10. Okay. So you can see as I enter that cell to type a date, you can see as it's already giving me a message that is only date format I should enter into this cell, and it's giving me the sample how my date and time should be entered. So you can see. So this serves as a message, as a guide ahead for the person that is going to make use of the file to do his or her data entry. So now that is how to impute a message as a guide before the data entry commences. So now let's impute a message as a warning or as an alert where the person has entered a wrong data type, So let's impute an error message. So you can select if you want to, if it is an information, if it's a warning, if it's a stop, you can select anyone. Let me name it wrong data. Let me exclamate. So let me put a warning. Those that know me in my office know that whenever I type with capital letter, I'm passing a serious message. You have entered a wrong data type. Okay. So now let me enter a wrong data type. 21. Okay. Sorry, I did not format this. So let me make use of this space. Let me enter a wrong. Oh, sorry. Let me do it here. All right. Can you see? Wrong data. You have entered a wrong data type. So you can set a message as a guide before the data entry commences, so that when whoever is entering the data knows what step to follow. Then, even when the person has entered the wrong data type, there is an alert or a warning message telling the person you have entered a wrong data type. At this junction, I would like so hopefully in our next master class we may look at these other ones. So because of time, we'll not be able to look at this data cleansing, data formatting. So hopefully in our next class, we'll be able to do that. So at this point, I'd like to ask if there's any question for me. Do you have any question? All right, thank you for the clap. Thank you for the emoji. All right, so Victor, please, you can take over from here.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Mubiwa. We really do appreciate this. Is indeed an insightful session.
You're welcome.
Yes, thank you once again. I believe everybody here is not feeling like an Excel pro at this point, and I like the fact that you were very, very teachable in all of this. You make learning interesting. That's what I would say. Whether you're a pro or not, I think everybody with a thumbs up I'm seeing, I don't think I'm lying. So thank you once again.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So once again, we at Camanda we appreciate you for this. And I believe as I found this valuable, everybody else also find this also equally as valuable, so probably even more. So for those who have been requesting for the video, we'll send the video shortly after. We'll send it to all of your emails. And if you really do enjoy this session, and as you can see, Mr. Muyiwa has lots that he couldn't cover, which we'll still try and cover in further master classes and also our training programs here at Camanda Academy. So you can check us out, just go to www.camanda.academy, and then you see a whole lot of our other structured learning pathways, how to become a professional in your skill. So it's a whole lot. So those who wants to make career change, you can just go there and then see how to do that. Or those who wants to get better at their job by learning the required tech skills that they need. Not just tech skills alone, all kinds of skills actually. So you can just go www.camanda.academy. Yeah, so basically we appreciate everybody here for joining, and before we go, if there's any question you can just ask now. Probably we might have missed it or you forgot, but you can ask your question if you have any. All right. Thank you, Mr. Muyo, once again. Thank you for everybody who stayed on the call till this very time. We really do appreciate. And with that, we'll call it a wrap. Do enjoy the rest of the day. Enjoy your weekend, and happy International Women's Day. Please do something out there for a woman. You can ignore the bros for today. Help a woman. Buy a cup for a woman. Just something good for a woman in your life today. I mean, Happy Women's Day doesn't come every day, so let's use time to appreciate everyone that we do have in our lives, who are particularly women. All right. So thank you once again. Yeah, enjoy. Sorry, the comment I'm seeing here, is it to Mr. Muyowa?
Somebody is asking to share. I think it should be to Camanda. If there's a way they can reach Camanda.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. That is. Please, if you're still on the call, can you maybe speak?
Hello?
Yes.
Actually, I'm the one. I sent a message asking for a contact in case somebody wants to have a personal discussion or maybe how to go further with this training and other things that I need to know. So that's what
Okay.
I'm asking. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'll definitely reach out to you. Just drop your contact in the chat. Then, as I say, right, by Monday we'll send the relevant information that you need. Yes. But
A
just
contact has also been shared. Already.
yes. All right. Thank you very much, everybody. Yes, we should enjoy the rest of the evening and the weekend generally.
Thank you.
Thank you. Happy International Women's Day Charity. Happy International Women's Day, Lara. Sheung. All right. And the meeting has actually ended, by the way. So, yeah. Thanks.